All right, what's up, everybody, on my HeyBower channel? You keep asking yourself, why are you always in Raider gear every time you're filming a video? Because I like to kill two birds with one stone. That's a metaphor. I don't mean it literally. But I just did a Raider video. We suck. We're going to lose to the Chiefs. So be it. We'll move on from there. What do I want to talk about on today's video, guys? Well, you know what? The only topic that's been on my mind the past week basically has been SplatCon. Okay? I'm just going to give you a little bit more inside information from what I have from behind the scenes. What went wrong? Was it a scam? And talk about the event that we threw kind of last minute. That's what I'm going to talk about on today's video. So you guys want to stay with me, I appreciate it. And I got to always say, please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. If you enjoy any content from this channel, please become a member for early and exclusive content for a few bucks. Help support me. And I do have merchandise, and I got some unique merchandise available. There's only 2 left of a certain item. And you guys are going to want to go and pick it up. So go to my merchandise store, and there's autographed photos, and there's a new t-shirt design, and there's a couple of items that are limited that maybe you guys are going to want to purchase and pick up to help support me. So go to my merchandise store. I do have donation portals below, and every item from my merchandise store comes with a video certificate of authentication from me, speaking my words, talking to you, and thanking you for picking up the merchandise. So that's like a video certificate of authentication. So I appreciate you guys, and help me make some of the money back that I lost from SplatCon at my merchandise store. All right, I was excited to go to SplatCon. This is going to be more of a full video than my last one was, explaining the situation. Some people are throwing out theories that some of the artists actually were a part of the like cancellation, or or a theory that we had some sort of part in it. I'm the conspiracy theorist, and that's not a theory. Sorry, got stupid stuff in the ears. You see how chill and reserved my conversation is, even though I'm nervous as shit to talk about this stuff. Why am I nervous to talk about it? Because again, I am a humble person. I don't like calling out people or things or situations publicly when there may be lawsuits involved. I just don't like making people mad if I say the wrong thing. And coming off of that Quiet on the Set documentary, where I made a video telling my experiences of it and how that went horribly wrong publicly, people thought I was a victim. Then the Quiet on the Set producers kind of like thought that I wanted to be on their documentary and try to expose something that never happened to me. It's a very negative situation, this SplatCon. I mean, let's be honest, guys. And I'm not hyping up Nickelodeon, for some of their faults in any of the previous documentary situations and all that. But man, Nickelodeon and fans, they're having a tough go of it. They're having a real tough go of it lately, with a lot of things. And it's really, really sad that so many people are losing their memories, their fandom, their love for all things Nickelodeon, retro Nickelodeon, through all of these controversies. And then we had to have SplatCon, right? Not that I had it, but I'm just saying the world had to have had SplatCon happen. And let's just go through that, because I'll be honest, man, a lot of us artists are like trying to find out why and how, and trying to find the truth of why it went down the way it went down, because it affected too many damn people incorrectly. And being a conspiracy theorist, you sometimes become I'm a conspiracy theorist, okay? So that means you kind of become like a detective. You get it? You try to find out what's real, what's fake, what's truth, what's not. Whether everything I believe is truth or not, it's like a detective brain. But everybody that doesn't know the story of SplatCon, there's an amazing podcast with Lisa Foyles that I watched the other night as well. Hopefully I'll put that link here. She did like a podcast talking about SplatCon a couple days ago, and she told it from her perspective, and that inspired me to make this video today. I'm going to tell it from my perspective. She's very entertaining and being really funny and entertaining during it. For some damn reason, I'm more in a serious manner. I wish I could be all laughing and funny, but when it's a serious situation and a lot of people were affected, it's kind of hard for me to bring out that type of humor. But that's why I fell in love with Lisa Foyles and that podcast, because it was entertaining, educational, and inspiring as well. So shout out to you, Lisa. I think we're friends on Instagram now. So hey, hello. Um, so she gave a little bit of the story of how she learned about SplatCon and how she got involved, kinda, and what went wrong from her end. I'm gonna do the same thing. Here we go. I don't remember the exact month, but it might have been around January or February, where and I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to do that. Lisa didn't name any names because, again, if there's possible lawsuits or anything in the future, this could all be evidence, you know. But I started to want to go to conventions. I started looking for agents, and I got recommended an agent that was working with SplatCon, and somebody told me to hit this person up, get in contact with them, and they are an agent as well for conventions, and I can start my convention career with her. So I got in contact with her. I guess I gave it away by saying her, but whatever. And yeah, we communicated and got the contracts for SplatCon. Said I'd like to be a part of it. Sounded really good. And the contracts, I can't explain everybody else's contract, but I had a guaranteed contract, meaning because I always want to get a guaranteed amount of money to do a convention. So I had a certain amount guaranteed in this contract, and I was looking forward to it. I mean, it's a lot of money to people like me who don't make a lot of money in life. And then I think I started promoting it in a video or a couple of text messages on Instagram that I was going to be a guest at the SplatCon. I was proud. I was really happy. I'm like, yeah, I'm starting my career. I'm going to start making money. And even though I had a guarantee in my mind, I'm like, no money's guaranteed. You know, no money's guaranteed till it's in my bank account. So yeah, I started promoting SplatCon a little bit, and then another event hit me up privately for a Timeline Arcade event in Pennsylvania. That's the event I did about a month and a week ago. And they hit me up to be a part of that event, saying they really wanted me and all that. And I was like, hey, I got a new agent. I got a convention agent. So let's not do this, you know, between us. Contact my agent. That's the professional way to do this. So they got in contact with my agent, the one that's also working with SplatCon, and they set up a guaranteed contract for the Timeline Arcade event and all that. So I'm excited. I'm like, woo, my goodness, great. Then I got hit up by another convention, and I told that convention it didn't come through, and I'll explain why in a little bit. I said, hit up my agent. Hit up my agent and get that contract going through. So now I had a few different contracts or conventions that I'm going to appear at now. So yeah, so SplatCon is getting ready to go. I'm getting ready for the Timeline Arcade event. freaking out. Then I start asking my agent, you know, how do the conventions work? You know, how many pictures do I need? What do I need to print? I started asking some of you guys this information. And from other people, they told me my agent sometimes provides the pictures. They provide the banner, and stuff like that. So I kind of was going into these events thinking I was going to get that stuff. Then the communication with this particular agent stopped. Then the Timeline Arcade event was about to happen, and I'm still in communication with the owner of the Timeline Arcade event, and not that much with the agent. And I don't know the exact month, but it might have been like a month later or a couple of weeks later. I don't remember the time frame. I might have signed with the agent in February or March, not January. Please forgive me, but the timing doesn't matter. But the Quiet on the Set documentary, I think it came out right after I signed with SplatCon. I think it came out maybe a week or two later. Because I don't think I would have done it or been, I would have had more worries to sign with a Nickelodeon themed convention if it happened, you know, if I signed with it right after the Quiet on the Set doc. I should have got my timing right. Well, if that becomes a big issue, I'll make it another story. I'll find out my timing. I'll look up the contracts and everything, the dates. But the Quiet on the Set doc came out right around that time. And wow, that was a whirlwind. And then I think I brought up the question to the SplatCon people. I go, yeah, do you really think you want to throw a convention? You know, oh, we're not affiliated with Nickelodeon at all. We're just a themed event. I go, well, a lot of us artists, we're probably gonna, some of them are not gonna want to come to this event because they're gonna have to talk about the documentary. And I think I was told not to worry about it, you know, that storylines only last for a couple of weeks or whatever. And I don't know. For whatever reasons, I just was like, you know what, I can't control any of that. I'm just gonna be proud to do an event and see some old friends of mine and earn a little bit of money to make a living, you know? So now back to the time, so, you know, months go by, they start announcing guests, more friends of mine, more people, more guests. And we were all referring people to SplatCon to try to sign on board to be a guest. You get it? So we're giving out referrals to other actors that they might not be in contact with, and then they're possibly signing them or giving those actors guarantees and contracts and all that other stuff. Then a tweet or an Instagram by a gentleman, I'm not going to name, that's right, I'm trying not to name names, but somebody that runs a Nickelodeon fan account that was working with the SplatCon people made a post denouncing the SplatCon leadership. Basically saying that they were a part of SplatCon, they invented the idea, they started working with one of the SplatCon persons, and then that SplatCon person introduced them to the other partner, and then they all three became the SplatCon team to make the convention. And then I guess this one individual that came up with the idea, that's a huge Nickelodeon fan. That's why SplatCon was being branded for the fan, or by the fans, for the fans, because a fan, you know, met some people and tried to put it all together, came up with the name, the graphics, and started the convention on its jersey with the help of these two other people. And they put out a tweet or an Instagram that they thought a lot of business management and decisions were not being properly done, that they were trying or selling out or overachieving and taking on contracts and owing certain entities money for the rental of the place and for guaranteed actors to actors, to convention guests, that they couldn't even fulfill. So basically They're selling people on a dream, and they can't even afford to rent the location they're promoting. You guys have to go back and find these tweets. Just search on YouTube, right? SplatCon. A couple of people made videos explaining everything that went down in an editing fashion better than I did. If I find the links later, I'll put it in this video so you guys can watch their videos of some really good work. And that came out. Then a lot of us actors were communicating with each other. We're like, this is not a good look for SplatCon. I guess an ex-employee or somebody is outing them. But again, you never know if it's real or fake. There's always employees that get mad because they lost a job or they quit or whatever the case may be. And you don't know what's real from fake. Sorry, my microphone cut off. I don't know where it cut off. So I'll just say what I said again. But so for that person to mention SplatCon, you know, and disowning it was kind of scary because they're a first-time convention. And a lot of first-time conventions struggle to get started or to do anything good. I've been a part of 2 first-time conventions in my life. I went to one as a fan to say hi to Corey Feldman and Wet Movie One, a friend of mine, and I took my brother because they were having musical artists. They had a group called When in Rome there. I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say. I know they don't sound the way I planned them to be, but if you wait around the world, I'll make you fall for me. I promise you I will. That's what I was doing when the audio went out. But so yeah, I went to that convention and they lost a lot of money. And then I did one called, what's it called, RetroCon? And they paid me to be a guest for that one. That was only my second time being a guest. But they didn't, not a lot of people showed up. So they struggled as well. But that was a real small convention. So for SplatCon to go on and us knowing it's your first year and now to read this report from this gentleman that was working with them, man, that put up a lot of red flags for a lot of people. But again, we still a couple months ahead of the convention. Everything might work itself out. And then a week or two later, that gentleman retracted his statement, made a public statement saying he was just mad. And I guess that was that. So now, I guess things went back on track. Everybody's promoting SplatCon. They're adding more guests. And then I started questioning in my own head because I knew my guaranteed money. And I can't vouch to know everybody's guaranteed money. But I'm pretty sure they're giving most of these actors guaranteed contracts. Because people like, you know, Omar Gooding, Kel Mitchell, and some big names started to sign on as well. And I'm like, man, if everybody is at least getting half of my guarantee, and some of them probably getting more than my guarantee because they're more famous, and there's about 60, 65 actors that have been announced, that's a lot of money. Plus the convention facility. I'm like, wow, these people are working on a lot of money. And then I was kind of happy. I'm like, woo, one of them's my agent. But remember, I brought her 2 conventions for me that I got privately to earn her income because she gets 10%, of course. So now we have the Timeline Arcade event, and I was communicating with the actual director of the arcade more than my own agent. And that kind of bothered me a little bit. But I did get the information I needed, like flights. Unfortunately, I got all that information like three days before or 4 days before a flight, when I need it a week or two before, because I take a lot of time to prepare. I need days and days to plan it, to think about it. Okay, I got to wake up at this time. I got to take a bus. I got to take a taxi or a Lyft or an Uber. This is how much it's going to cost me. Like, that's how I live my life. So there was a little bit of lack of communication with my agent on that end. And then I still didn't know if I was going to have a banner. I didn't know if I was going to have photos and all that. So I went out and had to print my own stuff. And I didn't have money to print my own stuff. I'm just being honest with you guys. So I asked the producers of the Timeline Arcade event if they could front me some money. And then I started asking you guys to buy merchandise and stuff as well. So I could print all the photos. It cost a lot of money. So the actual arcade people fronted me the money. But I also heard that the agents are supposed to front that, or they're supposed to produce the pictures and the banners and stuff like that. So that was a little bit of a red flag coming from this person that's now my agent and one of the people producing SplatCon. Trust me, everything was up in the air, but I ain't gonna fire people before an event, you know. Plus, I'm thinking she has a lot of money because she's running SplatCon. So she can get me many, many more future events to make money to save my life. So the Timeline Arcade event comes around, and again, they hooked me up with money to get all this stuff done. And long story short, I meet the agent at the Timeline Arcade event, and I meet her for my first time, and she's teaching me how to, you know, charge and how to take money and do all that other stuff. She was also an agent of another actor at that convention as well. So she definitely showed up because she had 3 clients at that event. So she's going to make a decent amount of money. And she did. Then during the event, this agent was asking vendors from the Pennsylvania event to come down to SplatCon if they wanted to be about us with SplatCon. They said they needed vendors. And we're a month away from SplatCon. And she's talking to people in Pennsylvania, asking them to be a vendor all the way out in California, that they need vendors. At the time, when I heard it, I was like, that was interesting. You know, we're a month away. Everything should be set in stone, at least by this time, with a few little procedures done. But whatever. So we finished the Timeline Arcade event. Everybody got their money, and, you know, they went on their way. And I said, I'll see you at SplatCon. We'll talk soon. And we were all excited. But during this event, I started questioning, and I said, hey, talk to Danny Tamborelli, talk to Lori Beth Dunberg, talk to Michael Moreno, talk to Danny Cooksey, you know, bring them to SplatCon. These are Nickelodeon legends that need to be at SplatCon. You're running SplatCon, you got a lot of money. Why are these artists not being called upon to be at SplatCon? She contacted Danny Cooksey at that event with me, and Danny lives in LA, so he agreed to do it. But Danny Tamborelli and the other people, I don't know what happened. I have to assume now after witnessing everything that happened, they didn't have a lot of money to buy plane tickets for some of these actors. You know what I mean? I don't know why a Danny Tamborelli or a Lori Beth Dunberg or some people like that would not be on board with SplatCon if everything's going to be paid for and they get a guaranteed amount. Maybe they knew something about the whole event before some of us did. I don't know. But still, I started to question, why are they not being involved? Then fans started saying, are any other Salute Your Shorts cast members going besides you, Danny, and Venus? You know, and then I told the agent, get in contact with, here's the information for the other cast members. You know, just fly them out from San Francisco or wherever they're at. And I'm pretty sure they'll come to the event. I can't say she contacted all of them. I do not know. But all I know is none of them came out besides me, Danny, and Venus, who were LA locals. So that was kind of peculiar. So these are all those little red flags that means, that kind of proves they didn't have a lot of money. So yeah, so that's what happened with the Timeline Arcade event and a lot of the little issues that started to pop up. Now we're about a week away from SplatCon. Now my anxiety and my fears are going wild. You know, I'm like, you know, what's my hotel room? Because I wanted a hotel. I wanted the amenities. They offered a hotel in the contract or a little bit more money. And I was like, I want a hotel. I get to get out of the studio apartment. I get to go to a gym, you know, hotel breakfast at the hotel, a nice big bed, you know, a better smelling room, you know, than my musk-laden studio apartment. So I was like, yeah. And then I started making plans with some friends, some girlfriends, and I just mean friends that are girls. But I started making plans, and you know, I wanted to see if I got possibly any VIP tickets for the event to try to hook some people up, because you know a lot of us are broke and poor and whatever. And I didn't get a lot of information, so like it seemed like this person was MIA, my agent as well. I mean, they are my agent as well as SplatCon. And I had no other contact with anybody else that was producing SplatCon. The other one person, or earlier 2 people until one of them left, but I never had any contact with any of those people. But one of the other persons that was producing SplatCon was in the Quiet on the Set documentary. And that documentary, I mean, it was eye-opening, but there was a couple of episodes where they needed content. And they started, in my opinion, I'm just going to say this, they started to race grift. They started saying all that was not diverse enough. And I was like, huh? Huh? Again, my recollection, that show had at least 2 or 3 black people, maybe 1 or 2 Latin people. I don't know if it had any Asian people. But that show was more diverse than our show. So if you're going to race grift about diversity, I mean, you could have picked Hey Dude, no pun intended, as we just saw the entire cast, or our show. You know what I'm trying to say? It just looked like that documentary series needed content. That's why they were trying to force me to tell stories and expose people where nothing happened. But they were scary stories, but like they wanted me to say that on one of their new episodes. And then one person went on that show, and then he said that, you know, he was harassed sexually by a joke by, I think it was either that Brian Peck or Dan Schneider, where they asked him if he had blue balls. They made a joke about blue balls with a 15 or 16-year-old. And that was in the entire episode. And I'm like, oh my God, they are reaching. They are reaching. They had 1 or 2 proven abusers that were a little part of the Nickelodeon stuff. Then they went after Dan Schneider for a lot of those things that are scary and not the best look optically. but he's not a proven abuser by any means. But the other two were. But the other two were very, very small in the pecking order of Nickelodeon. So, in my opinion, they started reaching, and I got that information when one of the producers started contacting me after I made my YouTube video, and I was just like, this don't feel right. How am I going to name somebody that never abused anybody? And I looked out their entire history or career. They did nothing to me. It was just scary moments. So basically, in my opinion, they were reaching, and I saw that as an adult. But one of the persons that was in the Quiet on the Set documentary was one of the producers of SplatCon. And they were involved with the Quiet on the Set documentary so much. Not one episode, probably like all 5 somehow. And I was like, if they're reaching and this person is producing SplatCon, I don't know. So there was a lot of little red flags that, but I was blinded by money and the possibility of earning money to make a living. But again, would I have canceled? No, because I ain't doing nothing in my life. But did I have anything to do with the actual creating of SplatCon or getting the hotel or the location? No, I had nothing to do with it. But I feel bad because I recommended actors to try to be a part of it. And basically, it's like we're vouching for that person. And that makes us feel really bad. Plus, we're selling the convention to actors. Not only to actors, to fans as well. And they're buying tickets using their hard-earned money. So that's why a lot of the actors, after the information came out, was like, it just hurt us really, really badly. But getting back to my story, to catch up to where I was. So we're 2 weeks away from SplatCon, and I'm not getting the information that I need for my request after a couple of calls and voicemails or voicemails in whatever, Instagram and emails or whatever. And then I finally got like the hotel confirmation Thursday evening. That Thursday evening of SplatCon. So I'm like, wow, okay, fine, okay. Now I'm so afraid. I go, I want to make sure the hotel is legit, because I've been to hotels where it's not been paid for. Where you go down there, and not only do they take a deposit, they actually charge you for the room at the end. Like somebody else made the confirmation, and then you go there, give them your deposit, and then when you leave 2 or 3 days later, they're like, all right, that'll be like $500-$600. And you're like, I thought it was paid for by the convention or the production company or whatever. Oh, no, sir. No, they made the confirmation for you. So I immediately called up the hotel. It's probably Thursday night at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And I asked them the confirmation number, and they looked it up, and they go, oh, yeah, there is a confirmation for a few people with this number. I go, a few people? It should only be me. They're like, what's your name? I'm like, Michael Bauer. They go, oh, yeah, you're one of the names here. You're one of the. I go, what are the other names? Oh, we cannot give that. That's confidentiality. I go, so does that mean they get the room? Is this the same hotel room confirmation number for one room? She goes, oh, I can't give out all the information. I go, can you just tell me, is the room paid for? She goes, no, you're going to have to put down $100 deposit. I go, okay, I understand that. But is the room paid for when I leave? And she goes, oh, hold on. No, I think it's paid for. It says you don't need $100 deposit. Everything will be paid at the end. And I go, okay, is it paid for at the end? And then she goes, well, it says talk to OWN, own network or something. And I'm like, own? Is that the Oprah Winfrey Network? And then I was like, okay, ma'am. I go, please, I don't know if you understand the question I'm asking you. I go, I don't mind putting down $100 deposit on my credit card for amenities or whatever. But is the room paid for? When I leave on Sunday night or afternoon, whenever I check out, is the room paid for? She goes, oh, well, there's no information like that. It just says to waive the deposit until the end. It says waive the initial deposit till the end. And I go, so it doesn't mean that means it's not paid for. You don't actually have $400 in your account. She goes, no, I don't see anything like that, sir. I go, but the room is confirmed, right? She goes, yes. So I'm like, all right, I'll chance it. I'll go down there. I'll see what happens. And this is Thursday evening. Then I let some of the other actors in the know. I go, hey, I finally got my email confirmation number. Hope check your email too. And I go call the hotel too, because I don't know if it's paid for. And that was the last conversation I had with a couple of these people. So then I go to bed and I plan on getting a good night's sleep. And I wasn't going to check in to the hotel till around 4 or 5 o'clock the next day on Friday. So I wanted to sleep all day, rest my body for a really long weekend. So I went to sleep. I don't know what time it was, probably 6 in the morning. I probably went to sleep kind of late, 5:30 in the morning, getting ready for everything, making sure I had everything available. Then I woke up around 10:30, 11, and I always check my phone, I check my phone. Messages after messages after messages. SplatCon was canceled. SplatCon was canceled. Blah, blah. What's going on, Mike? I had a bunch of missed phone calls, people wanting to ask me questions, probably because I introduced them to the agents to sign them. Like, oh my God. I was going through it, and I have anxiety and fear. So that day was a mess. That day was a mess. I tried to contact the person throwing SplatCon, but I figured they're busy. They ain't going to contact anybody. And then, again, we all just, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell? And then we all got like on calls or text message chains, a lot of us actors. And we're like, wow, this is bad. And then now we're realizing we all lost a bunch of money that we thought we were going to get. A lot of us, some of us printed actual t-shirts and merch and spent their own money on photos and everything, myself included, not a lot. And then one of my girlfriends, or my girlfriend, she bought a whole weekend pass. I think it was like $225 for one pass for the entire weekend, like a VIP pass. She bought it, and she told me like a week or two before the event, she goes, you haven't heard that you could get any VIP passes yet. So I just went on the website to support you, and I bought a weekend VIP pass for me and my daughter. And then I was mad. I was like, oh, you should have gave me another couple days and told me, because I would have forced the agent to tell me, am I getting VIP passes? I need at least 2 of them, or I could have saved you some money or something like that, maybe got a discount, And then my girlfriend's like, oh, it's okay. I want to support you. I'm struggling, but, I also want to meet a lot of the other actors, Michael and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, maybe the VIP pass, it might be that you have to work at my booth or stay at my booth, or I didn't know, because I had so many concerns or anxiety. But I was like, damn, she spent like $450. So now SplatCon is over. We're all thinking about all the money we lost, and it just, I started getting mad, really, really mad, really, really angry, because this money from these 2 or 3 conventions were not only going to pay my bills. I've been dreaming up to buy a car. I've been saving up to buy a car, and I just started to be able to save a couple thousand, since I started doing a convention or 2 now. And I finally saved a couple of thousand, and I still, with whatever little bit of money I earn, I'm probably able to pay my bills every month. So I was thinking, with this convention and the other one that I'm doing, and she mentioned more in the future that I could, by February, maybe have enough money to buy like maybe a between $6,000 and $10,000 car, so I could really start to get out there in life and just living again. So all of this was going through my mind that day, and right around that time as well. I don't need to say it, but I don't care because I'm transparent. Because of these conventions, or that first convention that I did, I have to report that money to the government, because I get EBT. They're called food stamps. I get EBT because I'm a low income household, and I live really minimalistically. And because I started doing these conventions and making more money, I lost my food money. So that's more money that's coming out of my pockets because I'm trying to make more money with these conventions. So I had to report that stuff. So I lost my EBT at least for probably 3 or 4 months at $300 a pop. 3, 6, 9, $1,200 that I'm probably going to have to pull out of my pocket now from the money I was trying to save to buy a car, to buy food for the next 4 months, because I had to report that money. So I started going through my finances after hearing, the SplatCon was canceled, and then I lost my EBT like a couple weeks earlier because I had to report this new generated income that's going to be coming in. You have to let them know like every month your income, or that your expected income. It's confusing. So I was just having a really bad day on that Friday, but I was empathetic for all the fans and all the other people, and I just needed to take a nap. So I told everybody, I'm so tired. You guys, we started to talk about maybe we should try to figure out an event to do to meet the fans. Danny Cook, she brought up the idea, and I was like, he was asking everybody, hey, what place can we do it at? Do you know any people? How to promote it? How do we get the word out? And I was like, I got to go to bed. Danny, I love you. You guys figure it out. I have no energy. My brain and my anxiety, I'm dying right now, physically, mentally too. So I got to go to bed. But you guys figure it out, and I'm all on board. Wherever you guys want to meet, we're all going to meet up and try to bring the fans an event and meet some of the fans that are here. Because I was getting messages from fans that entire morning and afternoon. Oh, I'm here, Mike, because I'm kind of like an accessible actor. I try to communicate with everybody that hits me up in small manner or not. I try to communicate. And I was hearing these messages. I'm in the hotel, Michael. I'm at the LAX Hilton, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't know what to do, man. They're like, Michael, help me. How do I get a refund? I was like, oh, I just had to shut off for the day. So forgive me for anybody. I had to shut off. But I shut off. I went to sleep. I woke up probably 4 or 5 hours later. It's probably like around 9 o'clock at night now. And Danny Cook, she said, all right, we're going to have an event. We're going to make a video. I'm going to make a video online. Everybody repost it. We're going to go to the, what was it called? The Retro Arcade, Ready One in North Hollywood. Thank God it was local. We've been there together before, and we know the owners and stuff a little bit. So they wanted to make an event that was free for the fans, because we didn't want anybody to have to pay. They're already going to have to probably pay to get a Lyft or an Uber to come all the way from LAX Hilton, to North Hollywood. So, but Danny put it all together. Then he posted his video. Then I reposted it. I don't know if I tagged people. Then a lot of the Nickelodeon fans and the fan channels and the amazing people like some of you started reposting it, quoting it. The word went out. And apparently that Friday night, Lisa Foyles had a band or a concert at the Viper Room, where some of the Nickelodeon SplatCon fans were able to watch Lisa Foyles from All That at the Viper Room. So that was beautiful to see. And then we were having our event Saturday night at the arcade bar in North Hollywood. And there's videos online of the event. I posted some pictures on the Hey Dude cast showed up. Christina, thank you for showing up. Yeah, Christina Taylor doesn't do a lot of these things. She doesn't have social media. Well, she does, but it's private. But you know, a lot of us were able to get in contact with all these people that were actually here for SplatCon. I don't know all their details. Did they get on? Were their planes already paid for? Did they pay for their planes to get to the LAX or get to LA? I don't know. I didn't ask them any of that information. But yeah. So the cast from Hey Dude and a lot of people from All That and Salute Your Shorts and Secret World of Alex Mack and Phil Moore. A lot of people showed up to the arcade event. And dude, it was packed. I wouldn't say thousands of people. I'm gonna say hundreds of people. We might have packed 200 that night, 250. You know, in and out all night, back and forth. We had a big old crowd in front of the event, and it went well. But unfortunately, I went with somebody who had their daughter with. Like I said, this is the one person that bought tickets, and we thought it was all ages, the arcade, but her daughter was only 18, couldn't get into the bar arcade. I thought it was all ages. It said all ages on the website through Google AI. Google AI said something about 17 or younger or whatever can play arcade games, you know, something about, but the bar may have strict rules for the bar. So I was thinking they give you wristbands for the bar. Even though I've been there before, I didn't know that information. So I was thinking they give you wristbands for the bar, and then, you know, all ages, 17, 16, whatever, could play in the arcade and be around it. But she wasn't able to get in with her daughter. So I kind of stayed out for like half of the event outside because this person, this friend of mine, this girlfriend of mine, she bought a VIP pass and she wanted to meet a lot of these actors. So we stayed outside. I stayed outside to comfort them while the actors showed up, so I could introduce them and she could take pictures and all that other stuff. So a lot of the fans wanted to take pictures with me. You know, I walked inside the event, but I was bringing out actors to take pictures with my girlfriend and her daughter. So I had to constantly like go in, and then people are like, "Oh, can I get a picture? Can I get?" I'm like, "I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission." You know, because I wanted to make sure that my friend, that's a girl, that's why I say girlfriend. I mean, I don't even know if we're anything, but we're good. Sorry, that's something I got to talk about with her. That came up this entire weekend, so that's something I got to figure out. But long story short, I had to go back in and forth, and I felt so bad turning down some fans that were already inside because I had to take care of them outside. I should have told them come outside and we could take pictures or whatever, but I forgot. But we, you know, after she met everybody, took pictures with her daughter, she left, and then I was able to spend a couple hours. But I was mainly outside still because it was so packed inside. Oh, it's like a sardine. I was getting too much. But I had a good time. And there's videos that I'm going to link down below for you guys to watch some of that event from that stuff. But the event turned out great. I want to thank everybody that showed up, all the fans and everybody that made it. I am so proud that, you know, Danny and a bunch of other people were able to just get out and give you guys something for free. I wanted to bring photos, like actual 8x10s, because I printed so many. I wanted to bring photos and autograph them and hand them out for free. But through a text message chain through some of the other actors, we decided that even though we wanted to do that, not all the actors had their photos because some of the agents were coming down to SplatCon that have all of their 8x10s and their photos to autograph. So some of the actors that were going to go to the arcade event that Saturday, their agents are not coming into town because it was canceled, so they don't have their photos. So some of us actors might have had photos and merchandise to give out for free when the others didn't, and it might have made the others look a little bad or weird, or they'd have to tell the story, oh, my agent has all my merch. My agent has all my photos. I didn't have it with me. So we all just decided we're going to go there. If they bring merchandise or photos, we'll autograph it for free. If, the fans bring merchandise or photos, or if they want any, selfie or photo, we'll do it all for free, and we'll do the best we can to try to make some people happy. And I think it was a 100% achievement. So kudos to that. So just to end all the speculation with, was SplatCon a con, a scam? Now that I'm not in the angry mode, and I was saying in some of these videos, I was like, fuck SplatCon, because I lost, in my mind, a lot of supposedly guaranteed money, and I lost a little bit of money on some other things. Then people I care about spent a lot of money, lost a lot of money, and we didn't know if refunds were coming, so I was being really nasty in these videos with negativity, just like a lot of people were, showing their frustrations. But after a couple of days of set through, I don't have all the answers. I don't know if anybody started to get refunds. My girlfriend got an email that said that they're not able to give refunds because their PayPal account was locked away or something like that, where they can't send refunds at this moment. I don't know what else is happening, but you better believe I hit up this person or the people that I know to try to get my girlfriend or some people a refund. And some of us actors are trying to figure out ways to get our guaranteed money, but we got to go over our contracts and, but we're giving it like 10 days to see any progress from the SplatCon people until we really have a meeting and look over everybody's contracts and see if we can salvage anything to help us out or whatever the case may be. So we're trying to let the SplatCon people do the right thing. But that brings me to my point was where I have to just speak honestly. Was it a scam and all that? I don't know. There was a lot of red flags and people started to expose it early. But it might have just been a fan or a couple of people that thought they could pull it off with no money. They literally thought they were going to sell thousands of tickets before the event or a month before the event and have enough money to rent the Hilton and whatever else was needed. I mean, they were delusional. Okay? If this is the case, they went into it with good spirits and high hopes. And they had no management experience, no management team, and they had no money. From my honest opinion, this might have been what happened. They went in like idiots. Just knowing a lot of Nickelodeon people does not mean you can pull off a convention, a first convention of its kind, and just maybe you had 10,000 in your bank account, 20,000 in your bank account, even 50,000 in your bank account. I heard a rumor they might have had 50,000 to start with. That ain't enough. In my opinion, you need $250,000 to run a convention of this magnitude. And you're going to lose money that first year. You just hope to lose 50,000, 100,000, but you don't hope to lose 250,000, but you're going to lose money. So whatever they did professionally, I mean, this person runs an appearance agency. They could not run a management team for a convention. Or they had no team, they had no experience, and they kind of went into it delusional. So that could be one of the cases. But these people, when they got ousted by that one person that left, They should have realized the writing's on the wall. I think at that time their Instagram or their Facebook or websites or whatever only had a couple of hundred views on the YouTube page. And here's the most ridiculous thing. Okay, we'll get into conspiracy mode in a second. So I cannot 100% in good faith say that they started this to scam people. Were they delusional? Should they have never started it? Yeah, they should never have done it. They didn't have the management team or the experience. But hey, there's got to be a point when you started it where you started to realize it ain't happening. You know, I think they started promoting in January or February or maybe March. I don't know. But still, there's got to have been some point in there, maybe 2 months to go, or even a month before, when I saw this person at another event to say, I don't know, Mike, we're struggling. But they don't want to reveal any of that. It just seems like they were hoping to still all of a sudden sell more tickets. You had to know if you were renting the Hilton and you had to pay money to throw the event at the Hilton, that you're going to get more money by people just showing up than pre-sale. So they were counting on a certain amount of pre-sales to throw the event. And when they didn't get those amount of pre-sales, even a month into it, they should have started questioning things and been transparent with more people. Instead, they disappeared and they hid, and they hoped it would get better, and it didn't. Then again, we made the decision to end SplatCon. You know, we lost funding. You never had funding. We didn't have enough sponsors. You think somebody's going to sponsor the event 3 days before? Hey, let's sponsor your event now. Oh, thank God, we got enough money now to pay the LAX Hilton 3 days before the event. Yay, hooray! Oh, they pulled the funding. Wait a second. You didn't have the funding and the contracts in place for a certain amount of funding 3 months ago? 4 months ago? Oh, just show up to the LAX Hilton on Thursday or Friday. We're your sponsors. We're your funders. We'll give you all that money then. Yeah, go on, promote SplatCon. Promote it. We'll give you the funding then. And then, hey, we're here. Or maybe they weren't even there in LA. I don't even know. And then, we lost our funding. Bullshit! You never made your funding because you were hoping the fans would fund it. And they didn't. Again, that's the conspiratorial talk, but it all makes sense to me. And then who does not pay half the money to the LAX Hilton, at least half the money before the event to throw it? Maybe they did give half the money, but they couldn't come up with the other half. And they were supposed to give the other half on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of the event, and they couldn't come up with the money. I don't know. Until these people talk and tell the truth, we're just going to have speculation, assumptions, and hearsay. But the way everything went down was shady as fuck. Okay? These people got ousted. They bought that person off. They paid that person money to retract his statement. They kept signing people, giving unrealistic contracts when they were not making enough money. They didn't even tell certain people when they met them a month ahead of time. Then they were asking for vendors at events in Pennsylvania to go to LA. They had no promo team. It's a bad look. Bad look. 1,000%. This person, these people, 2 people in particular, should never work in public relations or conventions or appearance agencies ever again. They can't be trusted. They can't be trusted. Now, they might try to fix it to the best of their ability. They might give refunds to as much people as they can, but I guarantee you they don't have all the money. They spent some of it, whatever they made. Guarantee you they did. So they're just possibly looking at lawsuits. But again, what lawyer is going to take on a lawsuit for somebody that never had any money to begin with? And even if 60 or 70 actors and 50 or 60 or 100 fans get on this civil lawsuit, it's still probably not even $1 million to pay everybody back. So it's like small claims court. Then this person, they could declare bankruptcy for their companies or whatever it is. It's not worth it. And they're probably banking on refunding some people and hoping other people didn't get a hold of them so they can somehow still have collected half the money and get away with it. But again, I'm not here to disparage them. They might have went into everything with a good heart, but they were just stupid, business-wise, managerial-wise, and everything. I mean, I could understand a couple of problems happening, but you got to be transparent with everybody. You got to start telling the public problems. Hey, we need to sell tickets, guys. We're struggling. Hey, if you know any sponsors, any funders, and just a word of knowledge. If somebody wants to do a SplatCon in the future, don't call it SplatCon. Contact Nickelodeon themselves. See if they want to be a part of it. Because Nickelodeon needs to make their image better. They need to make their image better. Somebody get a hold of Nickelodeon and that production company, and they need to put on an event for the fans. So I don't know if Nickelodeon will watch any of this part, but Nickelodeon, right now, you guys are going through it as a network, and your fans are losing faith and love. Nickelodeon, put on an event, make SplatCon happen with your money behind it. Do it. Do it. Hopefully everybody will stop talking about the controversies from the documentary and everything else. And again, I don't want them to stop talking about it. I'm just telling you. I don't want them to stop talking about it. Nickelodeon, you need to talk about it more as well. Because we need to try to accept everything that's happening. So Nickelodeon, you should accept an event like this for the fans and make it happen. Just show a little bit of good faith, and it will go a long way. Maybe we all can make that happen together. I don't know, but I'm not going to be the director of that avenue. And for everybody that needs refunds or whatever the case may be, I guess SplatCon, the website, has an email or something like that. And look up the people running the event. Maybe they have LinkedIn's. Maybe they have other companies, like other websites. Find, alternate emails or whatever to try to get your deserved money back as best as possible. But I just wanted to say no violence, no harassment. I know you're angry. I know you're mad. We all are. But let's try to have some of God's grace at these moments. And maybe these people just were way in over their head, and they really screwed up. And this might be their worst moment or their time in their life. So let's give them a little bit of grace and hope they do the right thing. But try to get in contact with them. One of the persons mentioned to me that they have been doxxed, and that's a little bit scary. They've had threats. I don't know if they're playing a victim, but you have to say if that's actually happening, that's very, very scary. Let's not do any of that, everybody. Let's just hope they do the right thing. They have the ability to fix it in some sorts. And this will be an infamous memory in the Nickelodeon lives. I'm not going to call it Firefest. I'm going to call it Nick at Night. Not Splat Con. I'm going to call it Reverse Splat Con or Nick at Night, because we all met at an arcade at night and we had a good time and shared some memories. All right, everybody. I think this is the last time I possibly want to talk about all of this, because I hate talking about negative things and storylines, and God, I hate sad stuff. But yet I live a depressed lifestyle. Thanks, guys, for chiming in for this whole hour and 5 minutes. If there's any questions I didn't answer that you think I have the answer to, let me know down below. Other than that, I just wanted to mention real quickly, I forgot to say it, for the people running the SplatCon website, if it was the same people that were producing the event, shame on you. Because when the event was canceled, 24 hours ahead of time, the website was still on. And I didn't see any big pictures that said canceled. Only on Facebook and maybe Instagram, where everything was deleted. But the actual website, from my recollection, and I videotaped it from my phone, was still running. Then I checked 2 or 3 or 4 days later. Then I finally saw on pages where you can buy tickets that it had events crossed out. But I could still buy tickets somehow. It was weird. I don't know. I just thought, shame on you. Like, the website, people to buy tickets, that should be the first thing that is shut off. First thing. First thing. There's a lot of first. And you should have had 20 people telling everybody it's canceled. 2 of them working on the website, 2 of them on emails, this or that, you know. But again, it's probably one person. I think 3 people tried to run SplatCon. 1 of them left, and then I think it was 2 people. And then I think 1 of them wasn't doing anything. So it was 1 person. That's my honest belief, with a little bit of help here and there. Delusional people thinking they can throw in a convention of that magnitude. So whoever can ride the coattails of this, go for it. A lot of other conventions are promoting, come to NostalgiaCon in Texas or in Florida. You know, we won't cancel 24 hours ahead of time. They are roasting SplatCon. And it kind of sucks, because one person said he kind of invented the idea and the graphics for SplatCon. And that one person left. Like I said, he felt it was taken away from him, and they bought him off. And people would say, well, he shouldn't have taken the payoff. You never know what anybody's financial situation is. You know, that's what sucks about life. So a lot of us can get paid off because we are so hurting financially. All right, everybody. I hope I talked too much. I love you. God bless. Once again, from all the artists and people affected by SplatCon, and all the artists to you all as well, we are so sorry. We are so sorry. Try not to let this ruin your love for Nickelodeon and the past. Please keep those memories in your heart, and there will be another event like this in the future, somehow, some way. It'll happen. Nickelodeon, if you're listening, make it happen. Make it happen. I'm so proud to be a part of Nickelodeon and its history, and to be in your guys' lives. And I appreciate you all so much. I really do. Yeah. So check out some of the videos that are in the description for you guys to watch, get more information on SplatCon or see the arcade events. Hopefully I can share some pictures on a live stream or something in the future. But everybody, find all the actors on Instagram, follow them, support them as best as possible, because we're trying to do the same for you guys as well. And just because, real quickly, I have to say this, because in my mind I lost a bunch of money I was hoping to get. I want to be on some podcasts, and if you got $100 or $150 for an hour and a half to be on your podcast, if you're able to hook me up, I really would like to do that. To earn a little bit of money to try to continue to try to buy a car. So if you feel the need and you have the income to get me on one of your podcasts, I'd be grateful for your support. Check out my website, my merch as well. All the other actors as well. Some of them probably have merchandise websites. Hit them up, support them. Because if you weren't able to see them in person and get an autograph, maybe you can do so on our websites or their websites, etc. And I am going to hook up with some pure Nickelodeon podcasts in the next couple weeks. And be on the lookout. I'll start promoting those podcasts as well. God bless you all. I love y'all. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for chiming in for this hour and 15 minutes. But more importantly, thanks for spending an hour and 15 minutes with me. You guys are my best friends. Sometimes the only people I talk to in a day. So thank you. All right. Better days ahead. Go Raiders. We all have to laugh at that. I'll see you in the next video.